Friday to everyone, and welcome to this Breath of Fresh Air Shorty. I am Charles Taylor, and I'll be your host for this one, giving out my college football picks and also my opinion, probably long overdue, but my opinion on the sudden retirement of now former Indianapolis Colts quarterback Andrew Luck. So, let's get started with these picks. Earlier, we posted Patrick Brackett's picks, and here goes mine. Now, the theme of mine is going to be, well, you're going to have to show me. And you'll see what I'm talking about as I pick these conferences out. There's been a lot of hype with some of these teams, including my team, Texas. And I just think it's time to just kind of pump the brakes on it. Do I think we can do some things? Yes. But we have to be able to see some action to back up those words and to back up that hype. So, if you've seen Patrick Shortie, he had mentioned bitching for putting the ACC first because I said since Clemson was the one who won the national championship last year, then we'll just start with their conference, the ACC. So, let's get to the ACC, and honestly, I don't see anybody beating Clemson either. Clemson just seems to be so much better than everybody else in that conference. Now, could there be a couple of upstarts? Absolutely. You just never know what can happen throughout the season. I think Virginia Tech could make some noise. I think Florida State could be better than they were last year, kind of coming off the recovery of when Jimbo Fisher left for Texas A&M. And Syracuse is an interesting story too. Now, the thing with Syracuse is they give Clemson problems, or at least they have the last couple of years. 2 years ago, they defeated Clemson when they came up to the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. And last year, they almost beat them in Death Valley. I think Clemson had to score a last-second touchdown or a touchdown within the last couple of minutes to pull that win out. Clemson does go into Syracuse this year. Actually, it will be in a couple of weeks after Clemson plays host to Texas A&M next week. But for the conference, I don't see anybody beating Clemson. I think Clemson will end up coming out there. I think they'll play Virginia Tech in the conference championship. I know everybody wants to talk about Miami, but Miami ain't doing nothing. And North Carolina is another team that might be coming up after Mac Brown has taken over there, but I don't see them doing anything this year either. So Clemson will win that conference hands down. Now let's go to the SEC. Hard to say anybody is going to challenge Alabama in the West and Georgia in the East. Now, I do think there's some good teams in that conference. Of course, the SEC is always rough and rugged. Florida, I think, is improving. In the West, I think Texas A&M is coming up. LSU is always a factor because of the talent they have. And Mississippi State can also do some things as well. Oh, and also Kentucky in the East. I think they're improving as well. And they might make a little bit of noise. But I still say Alabama and Georgia is the class. Now, here's where I'm going with the whole you got to prove it to me. Georgia has come so close to beating Alabama the last couple of times they played. Of course, in the 2017 season where they played them in the national championship game, Alabama won that in overtime. And then you had the SEC championship game last year where Georgia was taking it to Alabama, and then Jalen Hurts came in and basically saved Alabama from losing that game. So Georgia has to finish. I hope Georgia can do this. I hope Georgia can finally pull it out. But until I see it, I'm going to stay with Alabama. So, yes, I think Alabama will win the SEC for, the third year in a row now? No, actually, Georgia won it a couple of years ago. So, this will be Alabama's second SEC championship. I hope I'm wrong about that, but I just have to see it to believe it. And speaking of that, let's go to the Big 12. This is going to make me sick saying this. I love what we have going on down in Texas. We had a pretty good season last year. We beat Oklahoma in the Red River Shootout, but then they got us back in the Big 12 championship game. And then then we went to the Sugar Bowl and we beat Georgia. Sorry, Patrick. But now here we are. We have the Sports Illustrated cover. Quarterback Sam Ehlinger was on the cover. And there's all the questions. Is Texas back? Is Texas back? Again, I hope I can see the resurgence come for Texas. I hope we can be in the college football playoff. I hope we can win in the Big 12. But unfortunately, and this is where I'm going to get sick saying this, we have to go through Oklahoma, and Oklahoma has been the team who has won the Big 12 year after year. So until we can knock them off of that perch, I just don't see any. I can't pick against them, unfortunately. I would love to, and I hope I'm wrong about that pick too, but right now Oklahoma is the team to beat, and until somebody knocks them off, then they're gonna be the champion up until then. So again, I hope I'm wrong. You see the color I'm wearing, the burnt orange. I hope I am wrong, but I think we just have to beat Oklahoma there in the Big 12 championship game. So until that happens, Oklahoma's going to be my pick. Yeah, Oklahoma's going to be my pick. Let's move on before I throw up. The Big 10 championship. Same thing. Until someone knocks Ohio State off, then they're the ones I'm going to pick. Now, if you saw Patrick Shortie, he pointed out Michigan, if they're going to do it, this is the year to do it. Urban Meyer has gone from Ohio State. They have a new coach in. That Ohio State-Michigan game is in Ann Arbor this year. So if Michigan is ever going to do this, this would be the time. Until I see it, I'm not going to believe it. So I think Ohio State will be the team to come out of the Big Ten and or win that conference. And also, in the other division, I think it'll be either Iowa or Wisconsin, leaning more toward Wisconsin, but I don't really think it matters. I think Ohio State just has too much talent, and I think the new head coach, he'll be okay. He'll be fine. So until I see Michigan do it, I'm just not buying the hype train. Pac-12. I think the Pac-12 is one of those conferences. They've been kind of pushed onto the bottom. Nobody really notices what the Pac-12 is doing because they really haven't done much in the last couple of years. They haven't had a playoff team in the last couple of years. So I'm hearing a lot of hype about Oregon. I think Washington is good. I think Utah is good. I'm going to slightly give the nod to Washington, although I think Utah could win the Pac-12. But I'm going to give the nod to Washington because, again, until proven otherwise, Washington is the team to beat. And as for my mid-major, I like UCF. I mean, Central Florida has been the team to kind of make some noise the last couple of years, but look out for Houston as well. Houston has a game this weekend against Oklahoma. Do not be surprised if they beat Oklahoma. I don't think they will, but look out for that one. So I'm going to say Central Florida is still that team, that mid-major who can make some things happen, but Houston is right there with them as well. Now, my thoughts on Andrew Luck. So we all know that he suddenly retired back on Saturday, and all throughout this week, there's been all kinds of opinions, all kinds of stuff, talking about how things were reported, how things went down, how fans are upset about how things went down. Look, Andrew Luck had to make a very, very tough decision, and he had said if he kind of hits that fork in the road where the rehab is just getting too hard and he can't come back, he's going to step down. That's exactly what he did. And so for him to stand by his word and put his life first, the man is a human first, football player second. He has to be able to live his life for his family. And if he didn't, if he just continued to try to play and continue to get hurt, who knows what could have happened with his life. So I think this is a very admirable move by him. And again, it's about the man first, sports second. And a lot of people have been talking about the reaction to the Colts fans. I think it was a garbage reaction, of course, to sit there and boo the man. But I also think, again, when you boo somebody, in most cases, or in some cases, it's the ultimate sign of respect because they know how good this man is. They know what he's capable of. So the Colts fans were feeling like their season got harpooned and pulled out from under them. But let's think about the human element, people. It's about the man first. And then how it was reported, Adam Schefter broke the news, and he got a lot of heat. Now, y'all know I don't like Adam Schefter at all, but he was just doing his job. He got a leak from somebody in the Colts, which is who you really need to go after, and he reported it. That's what he does. He's a breaking news reporter. That's what he does. But it's about the man. Andrew Luck stepping down. Yes, it was a little bit shocking, but I'm not surprised because of all the injuries he has had. He's been getting beaten up, and it just got too much for him. So he just went ahead and he stepped down, and I think he had a great career, and props to him. Well, that's what I'm breathing on. Everybody check this out. Like the page. Check it out on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all the sites. Everybody enjoy the college football that's going to be happening this weekend. Enjoy the Labor Day weekend. So we'll hopefully be back next week with the main webcast. They had a scheduling snafu, so we weren't able to do it this week. But hopefully we're back next week, and you'll see Patrick and me at the same time. So everybody take care, have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon.